What if the ghost in your town's legend wasn't just a story? What if it showed up at your door, asking to come inside? It began on a night heavy with rain, the kind where the world feels blurred, like it's painted in watercolors. The wind hissed against the windows, and the street outside shimmered with puddles. My daughter was the first to see him. Perched on the front porch, a small shape, soaking wet, eyes shining like lanterns. A black cat. Now, in any other town, that might not mean much. But here, black cats are stitched into the very fabric of our ghost stories. For over 100 years, people have whispered about her, the widow's cat. The tale goes back to 1912, when a fire tore through the east end of town. A widow, too frail to run, stayed inside her burning home. Neighbors swore they heard her screams, carried by the wind. But louder than her cries was the frantic yowling of her cat. When the house collapsed, the woman was gone. The cat, though, was said to wander out of the smoke, its fur unburned, its eyes glowing like embers. For decades, people claimed they saw it, prowling alleys and rooftops, always near the ruins. And whenever it appeared, misfortune followed. Lost children, broken bones, sudden fires. Folks stopped calling it the widow's cat. They started calling it the curse. And now, that very shape, that very silhouette was waiting on our porch. We should have closed the door. We should have turned off the light. But instead, my daughter whispered, "He looks cold." So we let him in. The smell of rain and old dust filled the house. His fur was slick and dark as midnight. He shook himself off, then padded across the floor like he already belonged here. His tail curled around table legs, his paw prints trailing wet marks, vanishing almost instantly, as if the floor swallowed them up. We laughed nervously. My wife fetched an old towel. My son poured milk into a chip bowl. And for a moment, it felt normal, just a stray finding warmth. But then the stories began. The very next morning, my neighbor knocked on our door, pale as chalk. He asked if we'd seen anything strange the night before, shadows, movement, that kind of thing. I told him about the cat. His face drained even more. "You didn't keep it, did you?" he asked. That was the first warning. The second came when I carried laundry upstairs. Halfway up, I froze. On the wall, in the faint morning light, stretched a shadow. Not mine, not shaped like any of us. It was long, arched with pointed ears. A cat's shadow. But when I turned, the hall behind me was empty. The third was a whisper. I was tucking my daughter into bed when I heard it, soft, like silk sliding across the air. "Stay!" Not from her, not from me. From the corner where the cat sat, eyes glinting like twin moons. Now let me stop here, because I know what you're thinking. Cats are mysterious, strange little creatures. Shadows play tricks. Voices get tangled with the wind. And maybe all of this could be explained away. But here's the part that still chills me. When we took him to the vet, she scanned for a microchip. Nothing. She checked his age. Her brows furrowed. "If I didn't know better," she said slowly, "I'd think he was old. Very old." His teeth were worn flat, his eyes clouded yet sharp. She guessed he was 15, maybe 20, but his body, strong, too strong. That night, my wife confessed she'd had a dream. A woman in a soot-stained dress stood at the foot of her bed, her hair undone, her eyes empty. She didn't speak. She just pointed at the cat curled between us. We started keeping the lights on. We started locking doors, though I don't know what good that would do. And the cat? He thrived. Sleek fur, bright eyes. But every time he purred, I swear the house trembled, like the sound reached deeper than our walls, rattling the bones of the place. Then came the fire. It was small. Thank God, a candle left unattended in the kitchen. Flames licked the curtains before we caught it. But when I grabbed the extinguisher, I saw him, perched calmly on the counter, staring into the fire as if watching an old friend. The smoke curled around him. Not once did he flinch. That's when it hit me. The legend wasn't about a cursed cat following tragedy. The legend was about tragedy following the cat. But here's where the story bends, where it refuses to end neatly, because we didn't give him up. We didn't throw him back into the streets. Something about him, it held us. Not fear, not exactly. More like a thread, tying us to something larger, something we couldn't quite name. One night, as I sat in the living room, he jumped into my lap. Heavy, warm, real. His eyes met mine, and in them, for just a flicker, I saw her, the widow. Not angry, not vengeful, just tired, lonely. The cat blinked, and the image was gone. And maybe that's the truth the legend never told. Maybe it wasn't a curse, but a promise. Maybe he wasn't carrying misfortune, but memory. A companion who refused to leave. Even after the fire had taken everything, we still have him. He sleeps in the sun. He curls on the couch. He prowls the halls at night. Sometimes I still hear whispers. Sometimes I still see shadows too long for the light that cast him. But he's ours now. And if you ask me whether I'd do it again, whether I'd open that door on that rainy night, I'd say yes. Because some ghosts don't come to haunt us. Some come to be loved. So what do you think? Would you have let him in? Or would you have left the door closed? Tell us in the comments below. And if you've ever met a ghost with fur, don't forget to like, subscribe, and share this story with someone who dares to listen.